Hello, my name is Daria. Today you are in my sewing studio in Los Angeles and I'm going to show you how to make pants longer. Yeah, it's not tricky, it's really easy. It's something you can do yourself if you have a sewing machine, pants and a twill tape. Here I have my son's linen pants. I made them in the beginning of summer. But now he is taller and for our trip to Japan I am going to make these pants longer. To lengthen these pants I'll use 100% cotton twill tape. That's about 3 inches or 1 centimeter wide. For each leg I'll need a piece equal to the measurement around the pant leg plus an additional 1-2 inches. My pant legs are 6 inches plus 6 inches, it's 12 inches, and it will be 13 inches for one leg and 13 for other legs, so I need to cut 26 inches for my both legs. This means you need to measure around each pant leg, double that measurement for both legs, and then add the extra 2 inches for overlap. When working with 100% cotton materials, such as my cotton twill tape, it's crucial to pre-shrink them before sewing to prevent future shrinkage. Cotton fibers naturally contract when exposed to heat and moisture, leading to potential alterations in the size and fit of your finished garment after washing. Nobody wants this to happen. So to mitigate this, I highly recommend thoroughly wetting the cotton tape and then press it with a hot steaming iron. This process allows my tape to shrink in a controlled manner before it's sewn into the pants. Neglecting this step can result in unwanted puckering or distortion in your project post-wash. I don't want this to happen to my pants, so I carefully wet the tape and thoroughly dry it with my iron. Now I am opening the hem using small scissors. As you can see, the stitching was done by hand with invisible stitches, so this will be quicker than dealing with a regular machine stitch. And look at that! There is a sand inside the pant leg. Well, that's what happens when your client is a toddler. Now I'm pressing the hem to make it easier to work with. I'm using a sleeve board to comfortably press it in a single layer. A sleeve board is a small narrow ironing board designed specifically for pressing sleeves and other hard-to-reach areas. I personally love working on a sleeve board because it allows me to perform more precise tailoring on finished garments and easily access narrow areas. Here you can see the previous hemline, and now as I unfold it and measure with a ruler, I have extra 2 centimeters to lengthen these pants. I've turned the pants right side out, and now I'm marking a line with tailor's chalk to guide the placement of the twill tape. This line is about 7 millimeters or 3/8 of inch from the edge. The hem allowance shouldn't be too wide or too narrow. If it's too wide, you will have less fabric available to lengthen the pants. Conversely, if it's too narrow, the fabric might fray from the seam over time. Now, starting from the inseam, I'm pinning the twill tape around the hem. As you can notice, my twill tape doesn't match the color of the pants. But it's not a concern, since my client is a 3-year-old who won't mind. If possible, please select the twill tape that closely matches your garment's color for more professional appearance. I've threaded my sewing machine with brown thread that matches the main fabric. This ensures that no contrasting stitches are visible on the garment's right side. Additionally, for educational purposes, the stitching will be more noticeable against the lighter twill tape, making it easier for you to see what I'm doing. I'm stitching the first seam 1 millimeter from the edge of the tape aligned along the guided line. If you are new to sewing and not confident about aligning the tape and stitching it evenly, I recommend basting the tape to the pant leg first. When I've stitched the tape all the way around and reach the starting point, I overlap the end of the tape with its beginning, trim the excess, and fold about 1 centimeter or 3/8 of inch downward to prevent the edge of the twill tape from fraying. In the video, you saw me using a needle to help keep the folded end of the tape in place. I hold it with the fine needle and guide it under the presser foot of the sewing machine. The next step is trimming any loose threads that might be stick out from under the twill tape. Now I move back to the sleeve board and press the twill tape toward the wrong side of the pants. As you can see, I leave about 1-2 millimeters of the main fabric showing along the edge, so that the twill tape doesn't stick out on the right side of the garment. Now I need to sew the second stitch along the free edge of the twill tape. In the perfect world, it should be also about 1-2 millimeters from the edge, but in practice, due to the thickness at the side seam and inseam, stitching right along the edge on the tape on the right side can result in a wavy seam. Here is my little trick. For the second stitch, align your guide with the edge of the hem itself. I place it perfectly along the guidelines on my machine. In this case, it's the line at digit 4. At the end of the stitch and at the beginning too, I always make a back stitch to secure it. Then I carefully trim the excess threads for a more polished look. Here I'm showing you the finished result. Unfortunately, due to heavy toddler use, you can still see the marks from the previous fold on the fabric. Sadly, there is nothing that can be done about it in this case. However, if you're working with a new item, no marks will be visible. After completing all these steps on one pant leg, feel free to move to the second one. I really love this method because it lets you get the most length out of the hem while keeping everything super neat and tidy. As you can see in my example, I was able to let out about 2 centimeters, which is roughly 3/4 of an inch. That means I've got a couple more months before I need to sew new pants. By the way, you might notice some stains on these pants that just wouldn't come out in a regular laundry wash. So I had to use some superpower called Grandma, and she managed to clean them with some kind of miracle solution before our trip to Japan.